top priority tonight in Kansas City. Missouri and Oklahoma fans are preparing for a championship battle as the Big 12 fires burn ever so brightly for a season to remember. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where the last chapter on the road to Miami is set to unfold in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC. Tonight, the number 20 Missouri Tigers, champions of the North, face the two-time defending Big 12 champion, the number 2 Oklahoma Sooners, who are trying to earn a spot in the national championship game. Already, Florida appears to be in, having knocked off the number 1 team, the Alabama Crimson Tide, by 11 points in the SEC championship game. On a chilly night in KC, we welcome everybody with Kirk Street. I'm Brent Musburger. Pleasure to be with you. We've got so many storylines. Let me start with Missouri. Chase Daniel, he has to be a little bit disappointed in what's happened so far.
Well, you go back to August. Chase Daniel was thinking about a Heisman Trophy, a Big 12 championship, and a national championship. And he comes to into this game at 9-3. Still a shot to get to the Big 12 championship. And really, I think in our opinions, for Missouri to compete tonight, number 10 has to carry the day. He has to have a remarkable game with his decision-making, and he cannot turn the football over. If they protect him, he'll score points.
On the other side, Oklahoma quarterback Sam Bradford is going to be playing with a soft cast. Let me take you back to a week ago when it was taped up after the third series. It caused a couple of fumbles. He tore ligaments in his thumb. He will undergo surgery tomorrow. How did he look, Herbie, down on the field?
Well, watching him down on the field, it looked like it was not slowing him down at all. Now, of course, last week he had the fumbled snaps. Tonight, under center, it looked like he was able to handle things. Listening to Bob Stoops, it sounds like it's business as usual as far as their approach and how they'll attack Missouri. So going in, unless it's re-injured, I don't expect the thumb to be a factor at all in slowing him down.
Certainly one of the most dangerous offenses we've ever seen in college football. Take us to the ESPN Axis technology and show us how it unfolds.
Brent, as you know, we've had a chance to see these guys. It's all about balance. They're going to try to run the ball first, and once they run the football, the real concerns step in. This against Texas Tech. Ryan Broyles going across the middle, takes the attention and occupies the safety. Now there's the protection that you'll see all night for Sam Bradford. See the window that he has? While Broyles comes across and occupies the safety, on the backside, Manny Johnson will go to the post. And when you open up the middle of the field against with this Oklahoma offense and with Sam Bradford, he always seems to find the right guy, makes a great decision, and always throws an accurate ball. So good luck trying to stop him.
It will be fun here tonight, Herbie. For Missouri, a year ago, they were the hunted. They came in with a chance to earn a berth in the national championship game against Oklahoma, but they were taken down in San Antonio. Tonight, they come in determined. And the crowd awaits a team that has been heavily favored since they earned a spot in this game. That would be the Oklahoma Sooners. Bob Stoops has lost only once in the Big 12 championship game, and that was right here at the hands of Kansas State and Coach Bill Snyder. The 6th division title in 9 years. And as you can imagine, emotions are running high on both sidelines tonight. Well, Lisa, Sam Bradford's going to handle the ball right off the bat.
That's right, Brennan. I spoke to the Oklahoma trainer about his thumb, and I was told that what's supporting it right now is a splint and some tape, and that's it. But apparently that's all he needs. Quarterback coach Josh Heupel said that Sam Bradford did not have any ball security issues at all in practice this week. But about tonight, Heupel just added, we'll have to see. And Brent, as you mentioned, Sam is scheduled to have surgery tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. in Oklahoma City. Apparently it's the type of injury that needs to be taken care of within 10 days of the initial damage, or let it heal on its own. And they opted for the surgery, they say, because they thought it would be best for Bradford in the long term. Brent?
All right, Lisa, thank you. In 8th season as the Missouri head coach, certainly turned that program around. About an hour and a half away from here in Columbia, Missouri. Very familiar with this venue. And on the opposite side, Bob Stoops, who is vying to get back to a BCS game, something certainly to prove as he has lost the last 2 times, West Virginia and Boise State. Dramatic upsets, we might add. And Stoops now knows he's 60 minutes for a possible date with Florida. Underway in the Big 12 championship. And here's Murray from the 5-yard line. Their starting tailback with a fine return out to the 35-yard line. And Herbie, let's take a look at Oklahoma's impact players, brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
This is one of the hottest offenses we have seen in the modern era. College football. It starts with Demarco Murray and that big offensive line. They'll try to establish him to take the pressure off of Bradford. Joaquin Iglesias leads a very, very talented group of wide receivers. And don't forget about the big tight end, Jermaine Grisham. Had a huge game last week. Loves to make the big plays. 9 catches, 158 yards last week against Oklahoma State with a couple scores.
Backfield is empty for the Sooners to start it out. Quick screen to Gresham on the outside, and he picks up about 3 yards before William Moore, the safety, makes the stop. So Sam Bradford, the all Big 12 quarterback, and certainly one of our Heisman finalists here tonight.
Well, you see 46 touchdown passes on the year, playing with amazing poise, confidence, decision making, as good as you will see at this level in college football.
Play fake to Brown, who's now the running back. Put it back in Gresham's hands, and there's the initial first down of the game. Tight end with an average of 16 yards a catch. A junior from Ardmore, Oklahoma, and we'll have a great showdown between 2 very talented tight ends here tonight. Chase Kaufman on that Missouri sideline is no slouch. First down and 10 now, Sooners. Kevin Wilson signaling a play down below. If you're not familiar with Oklahoma, it's tempo, tempo, tempo. They can go at a much faster pace, or they'll slow it down and double check like this. This is Brown, first carry from scrimmage, crosses midfield.
Early in this game, for Missouri's defense, they've been doubted, they've been questioned. They gave up 40 points last week to Kansas in a rivalry game and a loss. A lot of people expect Oklahoma to score on nearly every possession. They're tired of hearing about it. They need to start fast.
And there's that quick tempo. Ryan Broyles getting the edge. Everywhere you look, Herbie, there's so many weapons.
This offense can score in a hurry, and you're right. You get so caught up in Sam Bradford, and you get caught up in the big tight end. But this tells you how quickly they can score. And the way Sam Bradford, he will spread the ball all around, and basically he will force the defense to pick their poison, whether it's running or throwing, based on the looks that Kevin Wilson is seeing from upstairs.
Missouri without Bridges. Outstanding corner. True Vaughns has been out there. Jackson is now in. Big hole. Brown explodes to the 31-yard line, and it is 1st and 10 again.
There's an adjustment from Kevin Wilson from upstairs. They went with a freeze call. They got the matchup that they like. Great blocking on the inside there. Trent Williams, the big right tackle, was able to get to the linebacker Witherspoon to give the crease that time for Chris Brown.
And they're going to run a little toss play here, and Madu cuts daylight. A fresh set of legs. Demarco Murray and Chris Brown were the workhorses for the last few weeks, and now it is the sophomore from Norman, Moses Madu.
And look at the patience there. He set that up, and a huge block by Brody Eldridge, who's been very important to Oklahoma since he's been back healthy from the ankle.
Now Brown banged as he returns to the lineup. Shulock, outstanding defensive lineman. He has 8.5 sacks for the Tigers. Makes that stop. He's number 38. The defensive line here is pretty good. Baston, Ziggy Hood, and Chavis. But they're up against an overwhelming offensive line here tonight. So the linebackers, Lambert, Christopher, and Sean Weatherspoon, all Big 12 Weatherspoon, they need to pick it up. Finally, a ball hits the ground, and it is 2nd down. Imagine that.
Oh, man. This drive, and we'll see if they end up scoring, this drive is a great example of what has happened with Oklahoma throughout this year with the balance. What they do is they put a defense on their heels, and they keep you, you lose your aggression because you're just trying to get lined up right and try to look over to get the call. Meanwhile, here comes Oklahoma again.
Madu stays out. He's number 17 to the right side of the formation. Certainly not concerned by the pressure as they empty that backfield again. Second down and goal. Bradford incomplete, and twice in a row. He's human after all.
What Missouri has done here, Demarco Murray is out, and that's why we're seeing Moses Madu step in along with Chris Brown. And his health these last 6 weeks has been very, very important to the physical running style of Oklahoma. This is a huge third down for both these teams early in this game. Missouri trying to keep everything in front of them.
Got time. Brown steps out of bounds at the 2-yard line on the completion. As we looked at Murray, it is possible that he was shaken up on the kickoff return. Stevens trots onto the field. He is 6 of 9. He hasn't had one blocked. Whitson will put it down for him. This is a 20-yard field goal attempt, and like Herbie says, a story here, folks, if they only go out by 3 after that drive. Low, off the top, and good. Smack the line drive.
He's not used to kicking a field goal this early in the game.
Schooner's only going to come halfway out on that one. They're not going to take a full romp. Now the storyline shifts to Missouri at number 9. One of the more dangerous men in college football. There is Jeremy Macklin. No one has ever returned a kickoff for a touchdown in a Big 12 championship game, and they keep it away from him as it's picked up by the wingman, and that's Jimmy Jackson, the backup running back. And Herbie, let's take a look at Missouri's impact players, brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
Well, this is the story of the game. Jeremy Macklin's got to make plays, not just on special teams, but they're going to try to isolate him to get him matched up against the Oklahoma secondary. Chase Kaufman battling a turf toe. Had 2 big touchdowns last week against Kansas in a gritty performance, and Derek Washington has got to be a factor to give them balance to slow down the Oklahoma pass rush, which is the strength of their defense.
So they kick it away from Macklin, but they give Mizzou field position at the 39-yard line, and Missouri will take that. The running play on first down, Derek Washington. So there is Washington, our ball carrier, and Chase Daniel, a senior from Southlake, Texas.
The thing about Chase Daniel, people have talked a lot about his turnovers this year, still completing 75% of his passes. He just has to make sure decisions. He cannot force things and turn the ball over against this Oklahoma defense. They prey on opportunities to be able to get the ball back to Sam Bradford. And what we expect as a high-scoring game, it's all on Chase Daniel's shoulders.
Travis Lewis showing blitz, and here he comes. Picked up, and it is dropped. Dropped by Chase Kaufman, the all Big 12 tight end, and it bring up a 3rd and 4. It was 3 and out last week against Kansas on that opening series. There you see the wide splits of this offensive line for this spread attack of Missouri.
Doing more of the look over this week, they told us, to just make sure they have the right call. That's very rare for Chase Daniel in the Missouri offense.
Showing blitz again. Linebackers come, throws for the first down, puts it in Macklin's hands, out of bounds, far side.
And that's a good example of what Chase Daniel is looking to do. The freeze call, getting the look. They now realize there's going to be a blitz. They get the double teams where they need them, giving Chase Daniel enough time to get the ball out. And you'll see Chase Daniel, Missouri, 1.8 to 2.5 seconds. They want to get the ball out of his hands.
And Chase will have to throw it away. So here is DeMarco Murray. He missed 3 games last season with a dislocated kneecap, and it took him a while this season before he felt comfortable running. He did not run hard at the beginning of the year. The doctors assured him that was going to be all right. And over the last 3 games, Herbie, we've seen him run like the power running back that he was.
I think he needed to gain confidence in it. And they said he's been practicing better and just believing in it more. In the last 6 weeks, he's been one of the premier backs in college football.
On 2nd and 10, Washington is eaten up on the run. Again, the Sooners are smelling out that run. Lewis and Harris come up quickly.
This is a great look by Travis Lewis, 28, just coming up and not only stepping up to take on a ball carrier, but just knocking back the offensive lineman Ryan Madison right back into Alexander's lap. That's attacking downhill in a hurry by the freshman Travis Lewis.
Now Brent Venables with 3 down linemen. Play clock. Got it off. Here comes the blitz. Linebacker blitz. Daniel will be taken down and ripped. I mean, Quentin Carter came over number 20 and finished that up. The junior from Las Vegas, Nevada.
A huge hit by Carter, who is playing in this game with Nick Harris stepping up. That is a big-time hit and a tone setter for this Sooner defense.
Now Missouri's first punt. Jake Harry. And a fair catch by Broyles at the 10-yard line. Oklahoma leads it, but only by a field goal. The Sooners offense dashes out. Brown, the running back, off to his left. He has replaced Murray. He gets the call. Tried to get the corner and picked up about 7 yards. And just moments ago, Demarco Murray headed back to the Oklahoma locker room. Now, even though he took that helmet on the right knee, Herbie, there's no question, it is the left knee that has troubled him. So Stoops, who uses his best running back to return kickoffs, sometimes you don't see that in the National Football League. They don't want to risk those guys returning kicks. And battling is Quentin Chaney down that far sideline.
Missouri's defense, its first few series, the corners are back, trying to keep this explosive offense in front of them. It's almost as if they're willing to give up the 4-yard and 8-yard and 7-yard gain, and then they hope to make a play deep in their own red zone.
4 down linemen for the Tigers. Complete to Broyles for a first down at midfield.
And this is what Oklahoma has to do. Kevin Wilson upstairs seeing Missouri's style of defense. And what Sam Bradford has to do is throw things underneath, make the completion, and then hope that Broyles and Chaney and these receivers can break free and end up with a home run.
Rolling left, hitting the big tight end. Gresham, his 3rd catch of the night.
Give Sam Bradford that amount of time to throw. He's got plenty of weapons to find him, and they continue to attack the underneath of this Missouri defense.
Moving at quick tempo and putting it back, and their talented tight ends. They're having a terrible time matching up with number 18, Missouri is.
Yep, Grisham making plays, Broyles making plays in the slot. They're going to attack the outside and over the middle of the defense between the safeties and the linebackers. And now it's about execution. This is what Missouri wants. Let Oklahoma get into the red zone here and then see if you can force a field goal.
Iglesias, number 9, is to the right side of the formation. And he has spotted something, and he was signaling over to the sideline. Witherspoon moves up the blitz. He's picked up. Brown into the middle. Just shy of the 10-yard line.
Forget this Missouri defense is 116th in the nation in pass defense. So they clearly can't just line up and play man-to-man. They've got to play more of a bend but don't break style.
Here comes Brown. First and goal at the 2-yard line.
What you lose in the big play ability of Murray, you gain in just toughness and quickness, low center of gravity from Chris Brown. Last time Oklahoma had two 1,000-yard running backs was all the way back in 1973. Wayman Clark and Joe Washington.
First and goal, handoff to Brown. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Chris Brown scores the game's first touchdown, filling in for the injured Demarco Murray. And that is his 18th rushing touchdown of the year. He has gone over 1,000 yards already in this game. The junior from Alexandria, Louisiana.
That was Sam Bradford and Chris Brown on that drive. Brown carrying the ball 4 times alone on that drive, and each time picking up huge chunks of yardage as Oklahoma gets things back in order after being a little bit off balance there in the first few drives.
Stevens adds the extra point. The Sooners finally acting like Sooners. Moreland's kickoff, and that is Jackson at the 20, out to the 29-yard line. Washington, the running back. Missouri has been in good scoring position twice, and they have failed to convert in this game. Final snap of the opening quarter, you would think, and I should say the clock was running down. Let me correct myself. I'm looking at the wrong clock, and actually we've got about 1 minute and 45 left here in the opening quarter with 10-0 Oklahoma.
Remember this?
Yes.
With Oklahoma State, they've got the cards, and Texas Tech has something, and here Missouri, their coach is up at the top going crazy when Chase Daniel looks over there. He'll look over there. They go, hip, indicator, go with it.
Keenan Clayton was number 22 jumping around. A lot of movement by the Venables defense. Chase won't get away. Too much speed on that Sooner D, and big Frank Alexander brings him down.
Frank Alexander coming from the outside goes all the way around the young freshman Fisher, and this is a huge advantage tonight for Oklahoma because of the speed of Alexander and Beal. That's the best way to get after the quarterback Chase Daniel with this Sooner defense is McCoy on the inside and Beal and Frank Alexander coming from the outside.
You cannot get a read on Venables tonight, Herbie. He has just moved that entire front and secondary around on every play, constantly moving. On the slant, a beautiful pass to Tommy Saunders, who picks it up. Picks up the first down. That is a big play for the Tigers.
This is one way to slow down pressure in the Big 12. The jailbreak screen. We see it every single week. And when you talk to the coaches, and the reason behind it is it's an extension of the running game, but the reason all of them like to run it is because it makes the defensive line slow down and also makes them hesitate by constantly having to be aware of it.
Pump fake. McDaniel can't find anybody open. He's going to have to whistle this one incomplete. Nick Harris was a safety over there on that sideline.
And that's where Chase Daniel has to be careful. 13 interceptions on the year. He's such a competitor. He's such a veteran. He wants to make plays even when there is not a play there, and sometimes it cost him and can cost his offense, as we've seen this year against Oklahoma State and Kansas with the turnovers. He's got to avoid that time. Good decision to throw it away.
Daniels 4 of 7 for 30 yards is all. And here is Moore, and he is stacked at the line of scrimmage with Travis Lewis bringing him down, and our first quarter comes to an end. Well, for the 7th straight year, one team was shut out in the first quarter of the Big 12 championship game. The team that didn't score in the first quarter has come back to win twice, including Oklahoma a year ago. Rush 3. Macklin breaks free. 10-5. Touchdown, Mizzou. is the highway to the end zone for Missouri. A 27-yard touchdown. Daniel to Macklin on 3rd down and 7. Wolford. The old Big 12 kicker. Tacks it up. Missouri on the board. Macklin, one of the most dangerous receivers in the country. 12 touchdowns receiving. Well, Missouri will be kicking off from their 15-yard line because as the touchdown was being scored, Tommy Saunders came in behind safety Lindy Holmes, sort of brushed him with his shoulder, then said something, and the back judge picked it up. That's what the penalty was for. Now, Chris Brown and Iglesias go back deep, and the Sooners could have excellent field position as a result of that penalty on the touchdown. Iglesias from the 20-yard line. Close to midfield. 164 yards of offense for OU. 94 from Missouri here. Rush 5 can't get there. Bradford goes deep, deflected, incomplete, and that was fine coverage that time by Carl Geddes.
Geddes jumps this route, Brent, on Manuel Johnson, takes a chance, and comes up with a huge play. Inside cut there by Manny Johnson. Downfield for the first time in a number of plays by Oklahoma. Doesn't catch Geddes off guard. In fact, he gets up and gets a hand on the ball to knock it out of there.
2nd and 10. Bradford fires middle, 1st down, and there's Gresham again, the tight end.
With a late hit.
Dead ball, personal foul, 13 defense. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
That's Jackson, the redshirt, the true freshman out of Mansfield, Texas. That is the 5th catch of the game for Gresham. And it puts the Sooners in the red zone at the 14-yard line. Here comes Brown on a cut. And he's at the 10.
When they bring in the big tight end, Brody Eldridge, along with Jermaine Gresham, they have an ability to just pound you and also can flex out. Eldridge right now in there. They usually like to run behind him.
The Clapp is lined up as the fullback, and he will lead Brown. Huge offensive line. The red zone numbers for the Sooners are ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
87% of the time they get in there, they're not just scoring, they're getting touchdowns.
I think there's a little bit too much pushing and shoving for the umpire on this crew, and that's Tom Quick working with the Randy Crystal crew. Cale Gundy, running backs coach, working without Murray here tonight from that sideline. 3rd down and 6 for Bradford. See how deep the linebackers are. Now Christopher starts to come up, and he backs back away. A lot of time, but no one open. End zone touchdown. Iglesias, his 9th touchdown catch of the season. So they've thrown 2 flags in that end zone after touchdowns, and been a little chippy at times here tonight. Sooners made that one look easy, didn't they? So because of the penalty against Iglesias, both sides are even now. Moreland whacks this, and here comes Macklin to midfield, and 1st down and 10.
Where is Chase Kaufman? Got to get him the football.
Instead, it's Chase Daniel. And put it down on the ground.
Looks like there's some confusion, but it will go back to the Sooners. And Chase Daniel, boy, when he has struggled this year, it's been turning the football over. He's just trying to make a play, and it's him and Nick Harris. He goes down. They're probably going to take a look at that to see if his back touched before the ball came out. Nick Harris in the open field says, "Bring it on, Chase." Takes him down. The ball comes out. Very, very close to seeing if his body touched. No, that ball looks like it is out.
And Jackson, Brian Jackson, the junior, jumps on it. And so it will be Bradford and the Sooners taking over at midfield. Bradford, deep middle. Got Broyles again. First and goal at the 9-yard line. Ryan Broyles.
See what they're doing right now is they're attacking underneath, and then they're lulling the safeties to sleep. They get Jackson 13 out of position, and they hit a crease on the back end and leave it to Sam Bradford to see it when the opportunity presents itself. Good throw, and now they're inside the 10-yard line just like that.
Running Brown. He's down to the 6-yard line before he's brought down by Geddes.
This is where Oklahoma is as good as anybody in the country. When they have an opponent on the ropes, they go for the jugular. They don't let off the gas. They continue to go after you, and they attack, and they usually knock teams out of the game when they get these kind of opportunities. Kevin Wilson, as an offensive coordinator, doesn't worry about the score, and he has a great feel for when to attack when they get these big breaks of momentum.
Second and goal, screen incomplete, and Sean Witherspoon was really in the middle of that, helping break up that screen pass. Fine linebacker.
Also 19, Geddes recognizing, okay, jailbreak, let's get in there. You see Madu trying to pick up a block. Witherspoon comes from the inside, and it also started with Carl Geddes on the outside, staying with Chaney the whole time.
Third down and goal.
Huge play in this game. With an orange thrown on the field.
We did not hear a whistle, though. Touchdown. Iglesias. 2 touchdowns tonight for Joaquin Iglesias, the senior from Killeen, Texas. And this time, he went after a teammate and not an opponent.
Yeah, and that time, that's kind of what you expect to see from Bradford in this offense. Even though he had to step up and over to the right here in the pocket, he still has the time there. And his receiver, Iglesias, does a good job of sitting in the hole.
No fan should ever throw anything on a playing field, but it was rather symbolic as the Sooners got a little step closer to Miami at the national championship game. Jimmy Stevens adds the extra point, and the scoring machine's at it again. Oh, yes, there are indeed any number of Texas banners and signs here tonight. And, of course, for Longhorns, you feel for them a little bit because for Herbie, they look out and they say, now, wait a minute. We beat both Oklahoma and Missouri. But consolation prize, Fiesta Bowl, and Herbie's Buckeyes of Ohio State perhaps headed your way. We shall see. A long way to go here tonight. Fielded at the 9-yard line by Macklin. Macklin spinning to the side, and he is wrapped up. 24-7. After they close back, the Sooners have scored twice. One following a Chase Daniel turnover. Derek Washington, the running back, and Lewis, that outstanding all Big 12 linebacker, Herbie, making another play.
He's been all over the field. You know, when you're playing an offense that's gone 4 straight games and scoring over 60 points a game, and it looks like they're on their way maybe to the 5th straight game of 60 points, which has never been done in college football, you cannot afford to dig yourselves a 17-point deficit with 8 minutes to go before the half and expect to compete in this game.
Jackson's the corner at the bottom of your screen. Holmes on a safety blitz. They go deep, incomplete. Michael Egnew, a freshman from Plainview, Texas. Number 82 was the intended target. 6'6", 215 pounds, and a young tight end.
See what Oklahoma's defense has been able to do tonight to Chase Daniel, and again, give Brent Venables an attacking defensive coordinator, but the variety of looks tonight and the confusion up front by Missouri and the way they've been able to get after Chase Daniel has had a lot to do with their success tonight.
3rd down and 8 for Chase Daniels. Needs one here with 7:44 left in the first half. Couldn't find an open receiver. Throws it away.
They showed that they were going to rush 3. And as the ball is snapped, again, they're bringing pressure with Travis Lewis, the linebacker. And it's not that they're always getting to him, but it's just they're either mixing up great coverage with pressure or they bring the pressure. It's just a constant movement, constant game with Venables against this Missouri offense and the big splits that they have up front.
This time it will be Wolford punting. Broyles trying to get it on the ground fast. Broyles fields it on the line at the 12-yard line. And he'll be thrown down inside the 10. Here's Brown now for a first down. In case you just joined us, Demarco Murray telling Lisa Salters he will not return after suffering a knee injury on the opening kickoff of this game. Another 1,000-yard runner, Chris Brown, has picked it up. And so there with the 2,000-yard rushers, and then on this second and short.
I thought you might know Joe Washington, and I knew Joe Washington because of his days in the pros. I remember him a bit as a Sooner. But how about Wayman Clark? Wayman Clark?
Yep.
Going back to 73?
Way back to the 70s with those guys. So many, you know,
I thought that might be your Affleck tonight. That's why I studied up. I thought you were going to say.
You had to travel from Atlanta, fell for you, gave you a layup, my friend. Bradford all day, Iglesias again. And we can't say enough about that offensive line, that huge front wall of the Sooners. I got a kick out of your friend Tim Tebow. He was saying that he can't wait to play against some of the defenses in the Big 12. If it comes up Oklahoma, it's going to be kind of interesting.
It sure will be.
And Bradford, incomplete. Johnson's had a little bit of hard time hanging on to the ball here.
It's not like him to drop a couple passes, and I think he's overcome the injury that he sustained against Kansas with that big brace that he now wears on his left elbow. He had a few catches last week against Oklahoma State, the week before against Texas Tech. Maybe the cold's affecting his hands. You don't know.
That's Rick's number 4 coming up to the line of scrimmage, and Brown somehow picks his way to the 25-yard line, bringing the clock down with this drive. Remember, no team has scored 65 consecutive games. Sooners have already done it 4 consecutive games, and the week before that, they only had 58.
And they had 55 at halftime. They just stopped.
Here comes Brown for a first down.
We heard a lot today about Alabama and Florida and who would impose their will on who. And in this football game, what happens when you face Oklahoma is they don't have an agenda as far as how they're going to attack you. They're prepared, obviously, but they wait to see what you do, and then they go the other direction.
This is Madu. Slashing to the 11-yard line, and Justin Garrett with the stop.
Every offensive coordinator talks about the importance of balance, but I mean this is true balance. If you load the box, they will throw every time, and if you sit back, they'll run every time. And that's what this look over assures them of getting the right play.
Madu, end zone, touchdown. Moses Madu, the sophomore from Norman, can do.
Great Great job again by this big offensive line at 34. Matt Clapp, good block, kicks out, and look at the hole. And then Madu showing some toughness in his own right, shedding a couple tacklers and going into the end zone.
Let's tell our good friend Mac Brown to get out some Buckeye tape.
Yeah, you're right about that. We're going to have some good BCS bowl games. You
good matchups now. You better believe it.
Big time game.
Stevens, I know one you're looking forward to. USC,
I can't
Penn
wait.
State, Rose Bowl, Pasadena.
Cannot wait.
I want to take you back to, I think, one of the great moments. And this was Sam Bradford going up in the air. He was already injured. And this is a still photo in the Oklahoman. Look at this shot. He was already had tape on his hand. The Heisman upside down. And we want to thank Chris Landsberger of the Oklahoman. And he enabled us to get our hands on that still photo. It was in the Sunday paper when I left town. I just thought it was a spectacular photograph. Fielded on the hop by the short man. And so Jackson brings it out. And let's see. Missouri here, Herbie, with 2:28 to work with. Picked off. Intercepted. Jackson stumbles him down at the 26-yard line. That is the second turnover by Daniel here tonight.
So it's 3rd and short. You're reading your scouting report. You're studying your tape. What does Chase Daniel and the Missouri offense like to do? The quick slant. So what does Brian Jackson do off to your right? He jumps the route. He sits there. The ball is actually thrown pretty well, but he just almost just baiting Chase Daniel to throw the ball, and then steps right in front of the wide receiver to make the big play. Earl Goldsmith thought he had a catch, and Brian Jackson says, nope, that's interception number 2 on the year for Jackson.
Let's see if Slingin' Sam goes right after it here with 1:26 to go in the first half. Yes, he will. Pump fake. Right side, wide open. Broyles to the 5-yard line. Ryan Broyles.
Everybody wants to know what kind of arm strength does Sam Bradford have. He's always so efficient. Zip! Right there's your arm strength. Nice throw by Bradford.
Even though he is a sophomore, he's a redshirt sophomore, he would be eligible to jump to the National Football League next year. I'm sure that he will get reports on where he might fall in the draft. But trust me, with the season he's having and the toughness he's demonstrated with that torn ligament, he could be a factor as they walk in again. Chris Brown. The touchdown machine is underway.
Then we just talk about how they kind of step on you when they got you down.
Oh, yeah, they don't.
They do not back off.
No, where's your neck?
Yeah, they're going right after you. Aggressive play calling. Aggressive on the defensive end. They just do not stop. Stevens
tacks on the extra point. Let's quickly go to Lisa.
Thanks, Brent. Coach, certainly not the half that you wanted to have. What will you say to your guys in the locker room?
Well, first of all, we had a couple turnovers. You turn the ball over at midfield against these guys, that's not very good. So, we had the ball a couple times at the 50-yard line and turned it over. And we also had a 3-and-out there. We just got to come back and battle. We'll keep fighting.
It doesn't seem like you've been able to get a lot of pressure, if any at all, on Sam Bradford. What do you got to do to change it?
Well, we got to do the best we can.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. Brent.
This looks like a team in the first half out to prove a point after that debate between Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly. And Herbie, let's send it to the Times Square studio. Mr. John Saunders, will you take it away with your gang, please? We welcome you back to the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Sam Bradford, one of the favorites to pick up the Heisman Trophy, and the Oklahoma Sooners lead 38-7. And in talking to all the people who are milling about outside, they just shake their heads at this OU offense.
7 first-half possessions, 7 red zone opportunities, 6 scores, 5 touchdowns, a field goal, 5 consecutive touchdown drives. Just another ball game for Oklahoma. I mean, that's just another first half for the Sooners, the way they've played these last 4 or 5 weeks.
What about the defense of these two teams, Herbie? There seems to be an issue around the country about what kind of defense they're playing.
Yeah, I have a lot of my colleagues around the country that have questioned the Big 12 defensive ability throughout the whole year, and they're watching home tonight saying these defenses are terrible. We're going to find out during the bowl season about these defenses and about, more importantly, about the offenses in the Big 12.
Fielded at the 20 by Jackson, and there's a penalty flag on our kickoff as we check that out, and then we'll get a chance to see some numbers. Well, let's take a look, Herbie, at the Pacific Life game summary here as we start the second half.
I feel like I've done this quite a bit the course of the last few weeks, but look at Sam Bradford just in the first half. The numbers are good. They're going to get better in the second half, and it's just continuing to make great decisions to help his team be in a good position to score. And what didn't show up, I talked about 5 consecutive drives for scores and touchdowns.
Daniel throws back underneath to Macklin. And for Macklin here tonight, that's only his second catch, I believe, of the game. No, that's 4 catches. He's also carried from scrimmage once. And there you can see what they've done tonight as an offense.
Looks like pretty good defense to me from the Sooners.
2nd down and 7. Play fake Washington. Going deep, foot race, well covered. I'm going to tell you, Dominique Franks is a corner who will cover you. You get one-on-one against him, and you got your hands full.
Out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, played at Union High School. Great instincts as a first-year corner. 4 interceptions. We've seen him throughout this year. Does his homework, great preparation, makes calculated risks. That time, perfect position. No way that Chase Daniel can lay that in there.
Mike Bolligan, one of the linebackers, starting that middle spot in place of the injured Austin Box. 3rd down and 7 for the Tigers. Here comes the blitz. And get it off. Perry breaks free to the 45-yard line. Jared Perry, the junior. Ball came out, but I think it was whistled down.
The key on that play is when you face pressure and 2 middle linebackers coming right up the middle, and you'll see them come right up the middle there. Lewis and Bolligan is just getting the ball off. Then you have a convoy of blockers in front of you. And that time Chase Daniel dumps it right over top of the blitz, and Perry gets upfield.
18-yard gain to Perry. 1st down and 10 for Daniel. Still signaling away over there on the Tigers sideline. Washington breaks a tackle just short of the 50-yard line. Derek Washington, the sophomore out of Missouri. Holmes, who has 72 tackles coming into this game, and he was 2nd on the team to Travis Lewis, making that stat.
Gives you a look. Brent Venables, top right, constantly in communication. You can see Chase Daniel looking over in the background, the bottom left, the offensive coaches trying to help not just Chase Daniel, but the entire offensive skill set. They'll look over there and get the call. It's a cat and mouse game going on between Brent Venables, top right, and Chase Daniel.
As Beal closed in, throws a one-hopper incomplete. Just couldn't find anybody open against the quickness of OU here.
The reason this is relevant is because when you watch the Big 12 offenses, and it's one thing just to go hurry up, but they line up, and then a lot of times they look over. Look at all the communication from Brent Venables at the top. The coach is trying to pull him back. He might as well put some shoulder pads on Brent.
They had a sideline penalty against the Gators in that SEC championship game. And it could have been big, but Tim Tebow still rifled in a touchdown pass, which helped finish off the #1 team in the nation, Alabama, late in that game. 3rd down. Coming again. Fires high, incomplete.
After Chase Daniel got up, it looked like he was going to snap it. Then he looked over, and that's when you saw Venables make the adjustment. And that's Derek Washington lined up out on the outside as a receiver. The ball is high. Chase has been erratic for most of this night because of the pressure that he has received from Oklahoma's defensive pressure from the line and the linebackers.
Venables getting a valuable asset back, and he's out there on this punt return team, and that's Austin English, number 33. They'll have him ready for their BCS game. This one they'll allow to be down around by the 20-yard line. Let's go down below to Lisa.
Well, Brent, I was talking to Bob Stoops as he was coming out of the locker room, and he says that the update on Demarco Murray is that he has a left knee bruise. There are no stability issues at all, and that is good news for Murray. He said the problem is, and the uneasiness that you could see on Murray's face on the sidelines, was that he got hit on a nerve that runs by the knee, and every time he tried to put weight on it, he was feeling it twinge, feeling that tweak, a little bit of pain there, but no stability issues at all.
Yeah, and hopefully, Lisa, with that report, he'll be ready for their BCS game, wherever they might wind up, and certainly Miami would be the favorite. So we've got two injuries that people are going to be discussing. Demarco Murray with Oklahoma, and Percy Harvin with Florida. I know I'm getting way ahead of myself, but
no, but you're right.
I can't help but think about
right on schedule.
Down the road.
You're right there. At this point, the mystery is Oklahoma going to get to 60? That's because you know they're going to push it. They're going to do everything that they can. The only thing that's going to stop them is if Missouri's able to play much better defense in the second half, because they're going for it. They're not going to let up.
Nadeau is the running back now on this 2nd down and 10. Just a great offensive line. Swing on the outside. No matter whether it's the Gators or whomever taking on the Sooners, they better get ready for this big offensive line. This is a huge, mammoth offensive line. Those three seniors over there from the center over to the left, I think they're all three going to play a lot in the NFL.
Got great size.
Third down. Middle. Nice catch by Iglesias, reaching down for the ball, and that's a first down just shy of midfield. Joaquin's had a big night.
He gets across the middle of this defense where he's had some success tonight. Ball thrown low. What concentration. What strength in his hands to be able to secure that football.
Play fake. Coming in underneath now. And that, of course, is Jermaine Gresham.
They like to do once they pick up that first down, they get a little bit of tempo going, and love the play call. 1st and 10, play action going away from what you would think would be a run to Brown. Come back and find Gresham, pick up a quick 8 yards.
2nd down and 1. They run the toss play right here. Nadeau.
Big Brandon Walker leads the way around to the outside of right guard. Gresham with a block. And I'll tell you, Matt Clapp's having a great game when Oklahoma has run the football. He's been punishing defensive backs and linebackers coming up in run support.
Tripping, regaining balance, still no pressure. Gresham again. Into the red zone, the 15-yard line.
Pretty good athletic ability here by Sam Bradford. That's what coaches will tell you about. He grew up as a great athlete, played basketball, played golf. They said just by competing in all those sports, it made him an all-around athlete, and they feel it really helps him as a quarterback now for Oklahoma. The background is an athlete in so many other sports.
Here's Brown, and he's ridden down by Baston. Jerron Baston, a junior defensive lineman. Over on the sideline, Gresham being tended to. Maybe it's a cramp over there. Slinging Sam, ready to come back to work. Incomplete. Johnson again, the intended target. He said that was not an easy catch.
No.
But he has not had a good night getting the handle.
No. And the thing about the tempo of Oklahoma's offense, Brent, as a defensive coach, it's tough to substitute. You're trying to think, okay, they could be snapping really fast, so you got to get a call in. So then you got to get lined up real quick, and then they give you the freeze call, and then they know exactly what defense you're in. You're able to make an adjustment.
Look at those rear ends. Look at that offensive line. How do you get around that? Look at that left side over there.
A few hog balls up there.
You talk about hogs now. They're road graders over there. Big fellas. End zone, incomplete. Johnson again, and he was covered by Bonds. Bonds replaced the injured Bridges here tonight. And we come down to a 4th and 7, and I think they're going to give Jimmy Stevens a crack at this one. Go back to the first field goal of the game. He hit it real low.
He couldn't do that again if he tried.
Skipped off the crossbar, and it was 3-0. Interesting face mask the kicker wears there. 30-yarder. Whacks it. Ah, yes. The eats are always good at Arrowhead. That's something up there. Oklahoma tacks on a field goal, and here in the second half, they're opening up a big lead, and we welcome in the fine commissioner of the Big 12, Dan Beebe, who has joined Kirk and I up in the booth. He's going to talk a little football here with us. Dan, nice to have you at another Big 12 championship game.
Well, this is our annual appointment. Come to our championship game, and I get to get up here with you guys.
Sooners looking pretty good tonight, making a strong statement.
Fielded here on the 14-yard line, and Macklin trying to shake free. And he is down at about the 26. And I guess, you know, Dan, the way things are going, the Sooners could wind up in Miami and be taking on Florida for the national championship.
Well, I don't want to venture a guess with all the things that could happen at the last moment, because you've got a razor-thin edge between two of our top teams. We'll have to see how it plays out.
You're pushing now for a Texas-Oklahoma match in Miami.
We know who lost to the top-ranked teams.
Gee, we're surprised by that, aren't we, Kirk?
Yeah.
The commissioner of the Big 12 would be,
Yeah.
Last I checked my paycheck, it said Big 12 on it.
It has been a great year in your conference. I mean, I've got to say, not just Oklahoma and Texas Tech and all these. The game last week between Kansas and Missouri. Dan, you've got to be extremely pleased as Kaufman made that catch and moving toward the first down. You've got to be very pleased with the conference.
It's been an outstanding year, and I can only take credit for 8 of the quarterbacks that I recruited to these schools. You know, we want them in the mold of Herb Street when he played at Ohio State, so we found 8 of them, and they're doing all right.
What's been the reception that you've received and the conference has received about the three-way tiebreaker? Will this be moving forward the same system, you think, after what happened this year?
Well, you know, we in the ACC both have this tiebreaker system, and it's really designed to try to get the best chance to have a team play in your championship game that can play in the national championship game. We had the perfect storm this year. It's really difficult for a great Texas team, great coaches, and I think, you know, we're going to have to review it, put it on the plate, and see if we want to change it in some form or fashion. The other tiebreaker system isn't perfect either. You can construct scenarios where you might not get the highest ranked team in your championship game, and it's a tough deal. I really feel for the Texas players and Mac Brown.
Third down coming up here, Commissioner, so stick with us now. We'll see what Chase Daniel able to come up with on 3rd and 3. Got Jared Perry for the first down, close to midfield, so a fine pass there. And of course, you know, we point out that Missouri qualified for this game, but in effect they tied Nebraska in the North. We don't want to get past the Cornhuskers improvement under Bo Pelini, and some of the things that are happening in the North Division, right?
Yeah, I think you got to give a lot of credit to Nebraska. I think they're coming on. Bo Pelini is an outstanding coach, and it'll be a matter of time before they're back contending for this game.
I want to ask you, as an analyst, do you think the Big 12 this year is great offenses and pretty good defenses, or do you think it's pretty good offenses and very poor defenses?
Well, of course, I think it's great offenses and pretty good defenses. And, you know, look at the award categories. 3 quarterbacks finalists for Davey O'Brien Award, all Big 12. 3 Fred Biletnikoff awardees, all Big 12. 3 finalists for John Mackey, all Big 12. There's got to be some great offenses.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't know until you get in the bowl games if you're really that strong or not.
Right.
First down and 10 now for Chase Daniel as the Tigers will try to finish a drive. Here is Macklin, always dangerous, to the 38-yard line, and he's ruled down. The line judge all over that particular play.
We talked about the cat and mouse game with Brent Venables, the top right defensive coordinator. Chase Daniel, the quarterback. A lot of times he'll look over. See, it's just constant. They're going to continue to move as a defense as the offensive coaches try to figure out what the call is.
Here it comes on the inside. Got him on the slant. First and goal. Alexander breaking free.
Brent Venables just doesn't. He coaches. He just doesn't stop. But give credit to Chase Daniel. He makes the adjustment with the offensive line, puts the ball right on the money to Alexander on the slant. That was a blitz and a good adjustment by the receiver.
Dan, I want to thank you very much for dropping by.
Always great.
It's been a pleasure being in the conference. Good luck down the road, my friend. Your officials are doing a very good job tonight.
Thank you very much. That's my team.
Here's Jackson picking his way. And there is English, number 33, in on another tackle with Beal helping bring him down.
We could just keep a camera on Brent Venables the whole time.
And that's Bobby Jack Wright. Just put his hands in his pocket. He works with the secondary.
So he's trying to get him to move, constant movement.
Jackson spins. Lewis's numbers. 128 tackles, leads the team. He has 4 interceptions, 11 tackles for a loss. No wonder he's an all Big 12 linebacker. He's a redshirt freshman. He's out of San Antonio. And on the other side, Keenan Clayton is a ridiculous athlete. He once was a safety. They've got terrific speed. But right now, Missouri's got them back on their heels. End zone touchdown. And he went to Tommy Saunders.
Oklahoma brought the blitz with Travis Lewis and Nick Harris. Offensive line gives Daniel the time, and he threw it right to the right where the linebackers are coming. Look at the hole in the void in the defense. And I'm sure Missouri's sitting here saying, why couldn't we do this earlier in the football game? That was good execution on that whole drive.
Wolford tacks on the extra point. 41-14. You're watching the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game on ABC. There's a fellow you recognize. The Oklahoma hat on, Toby Keith. Pretty good musician down there now. Big Sooner fan. He's got the camouflage on. Got that Sooner cap on. But we recognize you. So here we go. Let's see if Mizzou can come up with a stop here, Harvey. Fielded on the 10 by Chris Brown. 31-yard line. We pass it along. Short at midfield. And that's number 84. And that is Cheney. Second down. Bradford can easily run for this first down. Slides down. Doesn't want to take a hit. Doesn't want to risk that thumb at all. He's going to undergo surgery tomorrow morning early down in Oklahoma City. We have seen no indication that he's got any kind of injury.
No.
You know that?
No.
I think you were right.
Yeah, they
chill in the air like a little ice on the
thumb. Just kind of numbed it. He's had no problem at all. I still think they're thinking about not only scoring, but just trying to, I think they're thinking about trying to get to 60. And I know they got to get a touchdown here. But I think they want to do something that we've never seen in this sport.
Ledoux. We've given them some credit tonight, Herbie, but I can't say enough now, having watched them 3 consecutive weeks, how good this offensive line is. It's big and it's talented, and they can move. They seem to work together. John Cooper's a senior out of Fort Collins, Colorado, the all Big 12 center. See, everything revolves around that big rascal down there now. I mean, they get set. Have we had a false start by a lineman tonight? Herbie, Madu bangs in there for a first down. Tough run by their third string running back.
No, I don't think we have had a false start, but I want to talk about Madu as much as we're talking about the offensive lines. With Murray going down, Brown's carrying most of the load, and Moses Madu, who, by the way, is out of Norman, Oklahoma, their local product, showing not only a little bit of wiggle, but some toughness as he lowers the shoulder, and his style fits right in again with this offense.
Nobody touches him. That's Clapp, the fullback, for a first down. He slides out of the backfield. Matt Clapp.
Give the big guy with the hair, give him a ball once in a while. He's been pounding linebackers the whole game. It's good to see 34 get his hands on the football, usually about once a game. And I'll tell you what, he has got some speed and athletic ability. He'll surprise you.
Checking over the sideline. Kevin sending the signals down, and tempo at the same time. They're eating a little clock here as they bring it down toward 1 minute. There's the toss to Brown. Brown seeks an avenue. He's short of the 10-yard line. And here they come relentlessly down the field. Chavis making the stop for Missouri. Missouri, of course, will be headed to a bowl game. You wonder who will be headed to the Holiday Bowl from the Big 12. They'll be playing Pac-10. That's always a great bowl game. They've got some representatives here.
Great game.
It's going to be fun to watch when these conferences get together, and
Everybody
people
talks
argue
about a playoff, but how much fun are the bowl games as far as watching the conferences collide?
I do love them.
I mean, September games, it's so, you just don't get the intersectional matchups as often as we used to. So now that you have to wait for the bowl games.
Oklahoma with the lead, and that's the end of the third quarter here. So they'll need a 20-point explosion to hit 60, and the Sooners are indicating that the fourth belongs to them. Not to mention the first, the second, and the third. Okay, so we'll be back with the fourth quarter of the Big 12 Championship in just a moment. So we are back for the final quarter, with Oklahoma leading Missouri in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game 41-14. Oklahoma stalking a berth in the national championship game down in Miami on January 8th. On this third down, make it first down, first and goal for the Sooners, and Iglesias enjoying a big night.
But they've actually connected down in this end zone a number of times. It's just soft coverage. On third down, you have got to be able to step up and take that cushion away when you're the corners. And this time it was Truvons who did not take that cushion away. Easy throw.
Set up with the power formation, and Madu runs it in. So he's the back who's picked up the slack with the loss of Demarco Murray on the opening kickoff. And he has rushed for 64 yards here tonight and scored 2 touchdowns. So Moses Madu with a big night. He plays on the special teams for Oklahoma. He's a very talented sophomore, also out of the Norman, Oklahoma area. And the coaching staff, Cale Gundy, of course, very pleased with the performance of his running backs here tonight. And within striking distance of that 60, they could become the first team in history to score 60 or more points in 5 consecutive games. We'll see how that unfolds in the fourth quarter. 48-14. 12 points shy of a first. And Macklin under the safety valve, and that's Moreland who kicked it off, who got him out of bounds. And here's a little bit of razzle-dazzle. Lateral back to Washington for a first down at the 26-yard line. And so just like everybody else, I'm not sure how you
I haven't really,
how you sort them out.
I don't know what order I'm gonna break these guys down as far as my final three, but I mean, what Colt McCoy did during that 4-game stretch really stands out. What Sam Bradford has done in the last 3 or 4 weeks really stands out. And of course, Tim Tebow has had a year that people said, well, last year he had all the numbers and broke the records. This year, he led a team to a national championship berth in an SEC
Fumble by Daniel. Reaches down and recovers it. And of course, you can say that Graham Harrell is the reason why Texas is not here tonight.
Yeah.
You know, once the Longhorns give him that chance, when they fail to come up with the interception, he hits Crabtree for the winning touchdown in that dramatic victory down in Lubbock. And Harrell and the Red Raiders brought an awful lot of entertainment.
Sure did.
To the Big 12 this year.
But when he went to Norman and lost by 40, it seems like he lost a lot of his momentum.
That steam. But, you know, he broke 2 fingers, 9 places, and underwent surgery and came back to beat Baylor. That's pretty good. End zone. Macklin grabs it. What a beautiful grab by number 9.
Back official coming in. It looks like he's going to wave it off.
He said he didn't control it, right? As he came down. You have to have control as you come to the ground. It was a spectacular grab high up in the air.
Gets away with a little push on Franks, pushes him right by, and then goes up. And then when he comes down, it's tough to see from that. Oh, this will be a great picture of it.
Frank slipped. Okay, you be the instant replay official. They saw all the looks that up in the replay booth, and they said they didn't have control.
Nope.
They hit the ground. That's the rule.
Have to be able to control the ball as you come down. And
3rd down and 10 now. Daniel being flushed on the move hard. And trying to grab it was Chase Kaufman working the sideline. What a play by the tight end.
The big fella with the turf toe hasn't been very active tonight, but watch this. He needed every bit of his frame at 6'6", and then he even goes up on his tippy toes.
Look at him drag that toe, the right toe.
Gosh.
Just like Pops would have done in the National Football League.
That was beautiful.
17 yards on 3rd and 10, and Washington leaning in. And
this is... It's like he got him down. That was just a great effort. Give it to him for the effort alone.
Absolutely. That was a great play by him. Got 2 fine tight ends here tonight. Gresham, of course, for the Sooners. You've enjoyed watching him the last few weeks. Pump fake wide open. Kaufman again. They came right back to him, and Chase scores another touchdown. Stoops, I believe, is still upset at what occurred on the catch leading to this touchdown. He walked way down inside the 20-yard line.
You've talked about the pump fake by Chase Daniel out to the flat there. That's what lured the defense to come up. Holmes and also Brian J. See how they jump up on Saunders? Nobody stayed with Kaufman. Once they made that mistake, that was an easy throw.
Tebow just filed that in his memory bank. You get a corner who bites on a pump fake.
A couple double
quarterback will be coming back. You'll see that again, my friend. Time out. Back at Arrowhead, and there is a little slippage defensively with the Sooners here in the second half. Bob Stoops knows that when you're dealing with votes and computers, you better be a little careful. And he was livid with first the call, giving Kaufman a completion, and then with the performance of his corner. We're going to show you that, who took the wrong man onto the end zone. This will come out of the 20-yard line. Complete. Iglesias, unstoppable tonight. A brilliant effort by Joaquin Iglesias, who refused to yield.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them go up-tempo here to kind of create some momentum. Iglesias has been having a field day, Brent. You said it. Just sits right there in the hole. And Bradford always seems to look up number 9 when he needs a big play. And Iglesias, the effort there and the strength is what I love to see from the wide receiver.
And Herbie, he's had a 100-yard day here. 8 catches for 113 yards. Again. Now he's up over 120 yards. 9 catches on the night for the senior from Killeen, Texas.
6 feet, 205 pounds. Very, very strong, as you saw in the previous play, but also just great savvy as a receiver in this system. Does a good job of recognizing man or zone coverage, and then just is able to always be in alignment and position for Sam Bradford.
Eldridge now lines up in fullback, and he used to do that more frequently than he does now. Now they use Clapp back there. Flare out to the side. They use him, Eldridge, as a receiver. He scored a touchdown last week against Oklahoma State.
6'5", 265 pounds, tight end, and you line him back in front of the eye back, and not only can he block, but he has the soft hands to be able to make the catch out of the backfield.
If the Sooners were to get a couple of touchdowns here and get up over 60, it would be hard to deny a team that was the first in history to score 60 or more points in 5 straight games from the BCS championship game. It would be a little insurance as Madu carries tacklers with him. Ziggy Hood hit the chant from the Missouri crowd. Our attendance tonight a little over 71,000, and that's the 5th largest we've had in Big 12 championship history. Next year, we'll go down to the Jones Mahal, if you will, the new Cowboy Stadium in Dallas. And
what that cost? About $1 billion to build that? I'm assuming that's
I hope he got
nice
the cash
facility.
before borrowing dried up here. You know, 2nd down. There's Madu. Witherspoon making the stop, just like the good old days.
That's right.
Here's Brown. Touchdown. Moving ever so closer.
Need one more possession to make this really interesting. Demarco Murray goes down in the first play of this game. Chris Brown and Moses Madu step up for Bob Stoops. They're now over 200 yards rushing on the night as a tandem. And that's just, again, great blocking. Clapp comes back in. Chris Brown runs right through the safety there.
So Brown, I believe, has 3 touchdowns tonight, and Madu has 2, and Iglesias has a couple. So that's your touchdown makers here tonight for the Sooners. And they continue driving down that highway to Miami. We're back, Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. And Oklahoma closing in on a three-peat, 55-21 over Missouri, a team they beat last year in San Antonio. Matt Moreland with the ball on the tee. He had to be a tackler after his last kickoff. On the ground, trying not to give Macklin too much of a shot, but he scoops it up at the 15. Down he goes, and Franks reels him in. 5.5 minutes, and Chase Daniel would love to deny Oklahoma this record. He'd love to give his buddy Colt McCoy at least one breath of hope that they could somehow move up, but it's going to be awfully tough with a 55-point performance here by the Sooners. 3rd down. There's the fake. Daniel working incomplete.
Okay,
Field drilled him, right? Field takes him down. Watch this. This is a big-time defensive player for the Sooners. And I don't think you'll hear Tebow saying that Oklahoma can't play defense. I don't think you'll hear that. I just don't.
But Brent, the bench from Oklahoma, they want the football back in the worst way.
They want to go for that record. No team in history. 5 straight games of 60 points or more. The Oklahoma fans want the ball back. Deflected. Could be picked off. It is. Grabbed by Holmes. Holmes down the sideline. Here's their chance. Macklin knocks him out of bounds. And here they come. Is he looking for 44?
He's looking for somebody.
Is he looking? Can you find him? You cost me a chance. Where are you? Where are you hiding?
Oh, he's going to get him. He'll get you.
Get out of my way. Madu stays in the game. Here's the toss play. Alley explodes. End zone record breaker. First team in history. 5 straight games with 60 or more points. And now, how do you deny the Sooners an opportunity to play for a national championship? What a night for Moses Madu. Replacing the injured Demarco Murray in the backfield rotation. And he goes 38 yards.
115 yards on the night. And as I said, when they lost Murray, Murray's a great back. But Madu and Brown are also still a great tandem. And how about the blocking to open up that hole? Get a kick-out block by the fullback. Lone Hole picks up a block, and there's a huge seam. And then it's all about Madu showing that speed. These blocks.
Florida, Oklahoma. I'd buy a ticket to see that one. Here we go now.
All right, Missouri.
Oh, Patton bounces up and hits him. That's a live football. Macklin. He's ripped at the 6-yard line. Well, let's go to the BCS bowl projections. Now, Brad Edwards has been following this, and Herbie, I know you certainly agree with all that.
Florida and Oklahoma will be in the championship game. USC, Penn State in the Rose Bowl. Fiesta Bowl should be a great one with Texas and Ohio State. Alabama and Utah, that should be intriguing as well. Down in New Orleans at the Sugar Bowl. And in Cincinnati with Brian Kelly, who later tonight on ESPN play Hawaii against Virginia Tech. And a great story with Frank Beamer and the Hokies, and a team that didn't look like they were capable of winning a championship had a great run in the second half of the season.
There's Washington picking his way. Now, we have been told that if it comes up Florida, Oklahoma, the Gators will be favored. But I want to talk about something involving Bob Stoops in the BCS games. Remember now, he beat Florida State on the same venue in Miami, won a national championship. But since then, lately, he has not done much in the BCS games. He has lost 4 in a row. Remember, USC jumped all over him the last time they went for a championship game. LSU, I should say. They beat them in New Orleans. And then it was the Boise State miracle. And then it was West Virginia. Stoops has something to prove. He will drive this team. He will drive them hard.
God.
We saw him tonight.
And he's heard a lot about that.
Chase Patton steps in to finish this game off. And Moore is the running back. So Chase Patton, a senior quarterback who possesses a lot of talent.
You know, when he first started in Oklahoma, because he was able to win the national championship in just his second year, and he won so many big games against Texas and in Big 12 championship games, everybody called him Big Game Bob. Then they lost to LSU in the Sugar Bowl in one of the BCS bowl games. The next year they got blown out by USC. And as you said, 4 straight BCS bowl games. Last 2 where they were heavily favored over Boise and West Virginia.
You bet.
You're right. He's going to be hearing a lot about that.
You bet.
As if he needs more incentive to get his team ready to face Tim Tebow.
So here's Patton. He has a big arm. He cranks it. Little diving reception at midfield. And it is pulled in, showing you that arm, Alexander, making the catch.
Alexander had to come way back to the football. He fights off Brian Jackson, who was in the doghouse earlier with Bob Stoops. He gets his arms under it, makes a big catch, but it was just a good adjustment by Denario Alexander.
This was a very, very good night for the Stoops brothers. And I'll fill that. I want to see Patton hands this one off to Moore, the running back, and he stopped at the 45. But Arizona, coached by Bob's brother Mike, defeated Arizona State, and they will go to the Las Vegas Bowl.
Good for him.
So they'll be playing the Las Vegas Bowl. And
Mike needed a win there.
And Mike has a third brother, Mark, defensive coordinator.
Yep.
And some think that maybe with those MAC jobs open, he might move back. Families from Youngstown, you know.
Yeah, he should.
Might take him back down in there.
He's reached that point in his career where he's probably ready to get that opportunity.
There is a game. There is a game that I want to be at next year.
Okay.
I want to be in Dallas when Texas plays Oklahoma.
Oh, my God.
To me, it has suddenly become the biggest rivalry in college football. It's going to be a tough.
You think you can do me a favor? Can you talk Colt McCoy and Sam Bradford into both coming back?
Both come back.
They have
it won't be as much fun. You got to come back and play that game next year, huh? It was just an unbelievably fine season by the Longhorns, and they got tripped up by the rule. You know, they could just as easily have been here if the rule had been somewhat different. But for Stoops and Oklahoma, you must not take any credit away from them. They did what they had to do, and now they become the first team in history to score 60 or more points in 5 straight games. And folks, the game before that, they put 58 on the board.
55 at half. They just stopped.
First down, Moore. Final seconds. Boomer Sooner. We certainly believe, as Gary Pinko goes over to congratulate his conqueror, we certainly believe that next stop for Bob will be Miami, and a team where he was the defensive coordinator for Florida under Steve Spurrier. The traditional, and it feels great, no matter how cold it is. Let's go to Lisa.
Thanks, Brent. Coach, 62 points again tonight. What was clicking tonight?
Well, everything. You know, Sam Bradford, again, is just sensational. His accuracy, his third down throws, and our running pass, you know, putting them both together. And defense really stepped up. You know, we had a huge lead before they gave up anything in the second half.
The first time in NCAA history that a school scores more 60-plus points in 5 consecutive games. What does that say about this offense of yours?
It's rolling, and the guys are really special. We got a lot of weapons. Coach Kevin Wilson, our offensive staff, are doing a great job with them.
And how important to the guys was it to get that record?
I'm sorry?
How important to your team was it to get that record? I know it probably wasn't important to you, but for your players.
I don't know that it was. I think it's more they just wanted to execute and finish the game and play hard to the end.
All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
For Lisa Salters and Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brent Musburger, thanking all of you for watching Saturday Night Football, ESPN on ABC. We'll see you from Pasadena. So long, everybody.